What up, fans, and welcome back to the MMA channel with me, Marisol. I am so happy to be back and doing videos for you. I know that I was gone for quite some time, but I am now dedicated to making at least one video a week for all of you. If I'm able to do more, then awesome sauce, but if not, I'm going to be doing one video a week from now on. That is going to be the most manageable given my time. And I'm really happy to be back and talking about Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. We just saw that happen this weekend, and there are just some things that we can no longer deny. I know that Izzy has a lot of haters, and they say various things that we're going to get into about how he can be defeated, but clearly he is still on top. And we're also going to be getting into Paulo Costa's game plan. Like, where did it go? What happened to his game plan? What went wrong? What can be done next? And we're all going to get into that now. So let's go ahead and have that conversation and talk about it here. Put some stuff in the comments, and let's go ahead and get into it. So to begin, Israel Adesanya is still the champion of the middleweight division. He is undefeated to this day. And even though there are plenty of people out there saying that he is all hype and this and that, and he could be defeated and taken down, clearly that is not the case. And we can no longer deny his skill and his ability in the octagon. I get it. There are people out there who do not vibe with his personality, the shenanigans, the trash talking. I get it. But when it comes right down to it, clearly this man is undefeated for a reason. And when it comes to what's going to be happening next, he in his post-fight interview mentioned that he would like to fight Jared Cannonier if Cannonier is able to defeat Robert Whittaker in his upcoming fight. I think that makes the most sense as far as the next step. And really, there is no one else that I see in the division who is going to be challenging enough for Israel Adesanya. So Jared Cannonier is pretty much the only one left to really challenge him in that regard, who is in the top 5. Other than that, I don't see anyone who can provide anything different than what we've already seen in his opponents thus far. I was thinking, and maybe a lot of other people out there were thinking, especially given all the trash talk leading up to this fight, that Costa was going to be that person. But clearly that is not what we got this last weekend. So quite frankly, I don't see anyone out there who can really challenge Adesanya in the way that we would like to see. Given that, I do think that he is going to be champion for quite some time. And naturally, if I want to just rewind time a little bit, come with me back in time when we were all talking about him facing Jon Jones. I am ready for that fight. I am ready to see that. We're going to talk about somebody who's also pretty heavy in the striking division, the striking repertoire. It's going to be Jon Jones. He doesn't typically go to the ground or take opponents to the ground unless you're DC. So this would be a striking heavy fight as well, I would imagine. But even then, it's Jon Jones. I'm willing to see that fight. I'm ready to see that fight. Unfortunately, however, it's not going to happen because Jon Jones has left the light heavyweight division and he's moving up to the heavyweight division. So it does not make sense for Jon Jones to then go back down to light heavyweight or even a catchweight fight to fight Adesanya, unfortunately. But quite frankly, I think that's the only interesting fight left for Adesanya, but it doesn't seem realistic anymore. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think that he does have an opponent out there that could be challenging in a new way that we haven't seen thus far? Let me know in the comments down below. Maybe I missed someone. Tell me who you think that is. When we look at all the media leading up to the fight, we do see Paulo Costa talking quite a bit of smack regarding how he's going to be taking down Adesanya, how he's going to be using his jiu-jitsu, using his wrestling, taking Adesanya to the ground and being dominant in that fashion. And what did we get? The exact opposite of that, quite frankly, which is really disappointing because that is pretty much what everybody talks about Adesanya being taken down, about Adesanya not having the ground game or having a ground competent enough to really face off with somebody when you're on the ground. And we thought that maybe Costa was going to be that person. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I was excited to see that happen, but it did not. And quite frankly, we saw the exact opposite. Costa was not active whatsoever in this fight. He threw a total of 12 strikes in both rounds in the entire fight. To give you a bit of perspective, he threw more than double that in the first round with his fight with Yoel Romero. Again, we're talking about Paulo Costa, the man who went toe-to-toe with Yoel Romero. And we didn't see him throw anything in that fight. Nothing. And even then, he got mounted. He's talking all this smack about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, about grappling and wrestling, and he got mounted. And when he was mounted, he didn't do anything with it. Nothing. He didn't try to escape at all. He didn't oompa. There was no bridging taking place, and whatsoever. And if I actually have a picture where it shows you I'm going to put it up here. Look at his feet. Look at his feet. They're not even flat. You're supposed to be flat to oompa and get the person off you, and get them, to lose their balance. And in an MMA match, that makes the most sense because they're not going to have their hooks in. They're not going to be trying to keep you pinned down in any way. In an MMA match, if you're mounted, you're going to want to be throwing punches naturally. And when you're doing that, you're going to leave yourself open to being off balance and easily oomped off in some kind of a way. But that is not what we saw happen in this fight, or quite frankly, in a lot of MMA matches. But we're talking about this one. That didn't happen in this one. So, again, disappointing. He was on the ground, yes, mounted, but still, if you're an effective grappler, you're going to use that to your advantage to get a better position at some point. But we did not see that. So, ultimately, with this fight, before I move on, I do want to mention, right before I started filming this, I did go on social media, and I saw that Paulo Costa posted a video, one addressing the mocking that took place at the end of the fight in the octagon. But in that same video, he did mention that something happened before the fight. He said, I don't want to make excuses, but something happened before the fight, implying that there was an incident significant enough to affect his game and his performance in the fight.
Something happened before the fight. I'm not excuse here to my people, my fans, but I will be 100% to fight him and to make him pay. That's my words.
What that could have been, he did not go into detail about, but now I am curious what it could have been that could have affected him so much. It doesn't quite make sense as to why you would not want to make excuses but bring it up. Because if you're going to bring it up, tell us about it. What went wrong, Paulo Costa? What happened? We want to know. He also was asking for a rematch. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to have to work his way back up. But it was interesting to see that something may have happened that could have affected his performance that night. But ultimately, what was most disappointing was that he did not show up. We didn't need him to win, but he did not show up. It's not what we were expecting. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about all of it, about his game, Paulo Costa's game, about Adesanya and who can fight him next, and who might actually be a bit more challenging for him to face. As always, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe for more content. I will be seeing you guys next week. Bye.